It is now my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker, one of our very own, Anne Sweeney, co-chair of Disney Media Networks and president of Disney ABC Television Group. As a college president whose office is actually in a castle, some might think of me as Cinderella. But on some days, it's probably more like her evil stepmother or Cruella de Vil. Whether that's art imitating life or life imitating art, Disney has inspired all of us. And if you have ever experienced the magic of Disney, you'll understand why Disney is in an elite class of companies described in Jim Collins' book, Good to Great, as an enduring great company. A central feature of enduring great companies is the magical combination of embracing and preserving core values and core purpose, while endlessly adapting business strategies and operating practices to a changing world. That is what distinguishes Disney. Walt Disney would be very proud to know that the leadership of Disney is now in the very capable hands of Anne Sweeney, who exemplifies the enduring qualities of leadership through a paradoxical blend of personal humility and professional will. Ambitious, innovative, and a highly capable leader, Anne catalyzes commitment to and fearlessly pursues a clear and compelling vision. Her ambition is first and foremost directed toward the greater success of Disney, not herself. Her quiet, calm, gracious determination continues to yield success. As president of Disney, Ms. Sweeney led the industry into the digital era, when the Disney ABC Television Group became the first media company to put television content on new platforms crossing the globe to deliver compelling news and entertainment to hundreds of millions of people. A CNR classmate remarks, Anne is quite simply one of the kindest, most loving, most generous person one could have the privilege to call a friend. She is grateful, too, to those who inspired her, including her beloved CNR mentors. Over the years, through the wild ascent of her career, Anne kept in very close touch with her CNR faculty, Father Bernie McMahon and Dr. Joan Carson. Father Bernie nurtured Anne's love of theater and encouraged her pursuit of an entertainment career. Dr. Carson's passion for the court of Arthur played to Anne's own creative reveries, and perhaps a subliminal link to ABC's fantastical Once Upon a Time. With great pleasure and pride, I welcome home our commencement speaker, Anne Sweeney.
Thank you, President Huntington. Distinguished trustees, my fellow honorary degree recipient and chairman of the Board of Trustees, Michael Ambler, members of the faculty and administration, fellow alumni, family and friends, and most important, the 2013 graduating class of the College of New Rochelle. And a quick note to President Huntington, go for Cinderella. The princesses have great power in our company. Thank you so much for your invitation to join you on this special occasion. I'm honored and I'm humbled to be with you. I'd like to begin today with some words from one of the wisest souls I know. They've guided me throughout my life, and they've helped me deal with the uncertainty of what each day may bring. This inspiration and wisdom comes from Piglet, from Winnie the Pooh. Well, I'm sorry, but what did you expect? You invited someone from Disney to your commencement. Anyway, here's what he said. When you wake up in the morning, Pooh, what's the first thing you say to yourself? What's for breakfast? Said Pooh. What do you say, Piglet? I say, I wonder what's going to happen exciting today. Piglet is always so profound. You can't predict the future, but you can control how you respond to what each day may bring and try to approach it with wonder and enthusiasm for all the potential it may hold. I try very hard to respond like Piglet. I first saw the College of New Rochelle in the fall of 1974 on a college tour. Now, as all of you are acutely aware, there's a lot to take in when you see a school, far too much to ever remember. But I do recall one thing quite vividly, and that was walking into Dr. Joan Carson's class. She was teaching a course on medieval literature, and the day's discussions centered on the Arthurian legend. And I remember quite vividly, for something so long removed, the words she spoke when introducing the topic. She said, and I quote, "There was a Camelot, and I think I know where it is." In preparing my thoughts on what to speak with you about today, I kept coming back to that moment, because without knowing it at the time, Dr. Carson was introducing me to a lifelong love affair of storytelling and the wonder that it holds. And with that simple phrase, she had begun her tale. And like most great storytellers, which all the best teachers are, she was issuing a challenge to those of us assembled to go on that journey with her. And if there's one thing that I've learned throughout my life, it's that an inspiration happens when you least expect it, and oftentimes without you even knowing. Sitting in that classroom, listening to that great storyteller, I had no idea that a passion had been sparked, and ultimately, my career path had been charted. Because I loved stories, I always assumed that I would be a teacher, go into the family business. My mother was an elementary school teacher, my father was a principal, and I figured my storytelling would be done in a classroom. But then, as luck would have it, I paged at ABC my senior year at CNR and came to realize that the stories I was destined to live would play out on a different screen, or multiple screens. I think CNR students understand better than most the value of using inspiration to pursue their life stories. You've pushed beyond the boundaries that could have defined you or the obstacles that could have stopped you. You are the heroes in your own epic tale. Some of you worked full-time jobs in addition to your coursework. Some of you are older and returned to school after a long absence. Some of you have young children who are here today to share your special achievement, and you had the challenge of being full-time parents while also being full-time students. Some overcame health or financial difficulties, some grew up here in New York, and some traveled from countries halfway around the world to attend CNR. But I assure you, it was worth the effort, because today, you've given yourself a great gift, the gift of an education that opens up limitless possibilities for your life story. My niece, Suzanne Mariano, who is here with us today, is a wonderful testament to that. She is a 2012 graduate of CNR's School of Nursing. I've seen firsthand the great job CNR did in giving her the education and foundation for her future. Her talent, skill, and compassion are so impressive to our entire family. I am inspired by the person you have become. And hers is just one of the great CNR stories. There are countless others, like Andrea Fobbs. Andrea set aside her dream of earning a college degree to raise and support her children and help her sister Audra graduate from the School of Arts and Science. But Andrea didn't give up on her own dream. She was finally able to return to school by working jobs in 2 financial aid offices and commuting by bus to and from campus every day. And somehow, She also found time to tutor children at the New Rochelle Public Library on Sundays. I'm glad that Andrea gets to join her mother, sister, 2 aunts, and 3 cousins as a graduate of the School of New Resources, and by the way, with a GPA of 3.8. Not only that, but Andrea's daughter is a student in the Graduate School in Communication Arts, and Andrea has given an example of lifelong learning to her entire family. Then there's Victoria Yaboa, who is getting her degree in social work from the School of Arts and Sciences. Victoria grew up in Ghana, and in 2nd grade, she visited a poor village and saw a child wearing one of her favorite dresses. Her mother had donated it, giving Victoria an early lesson in helping those less fortunate. Inspired by her mother's example, Victoria decided that she wanted to help others too, and came to the United States to pursue an education. She passed the GED exam and enrolled at the College of New Rochelle in 2011. During her field placement at the Boys and Girls Club of New Rochelle, Victoria facilitated educational groups and provided counseling for at-risk kids and teens. Those experiences have inspired her to lead a life as an advocate for those in need. And let me tell you one more incredible story. Rajnath Sandhu was a sophomore majoring in biology and chemistry. She was an RA, was active in student life, and a campus leader when she had a heart attack and a stroke. After multiple surgeries, ultimately received a heart transplant and faced a very long road to recovery. With a lot of support from the CNR community, Rajnath not only returned to the college, but she is here today graduating on time with her classmates. These stories exemplify what students of CNR are all about: perseverance, service, dedication, and inspiration. And there are as many stories like these as there are graduates today. I challenge you today to lead with your story. Use the inspiration, courage, and persistence that got you here to live your story large. When I graduated, our commencement was held on the lawn in front of Mora Hall on the main campus. It was small and intimate. And now, here we are celebrating your achievement in the largest indoor theater in the world. So clearly, no stage is too big for you. Today, the world is your stage. Your possibilities are endless. Your stage is infinite, so please dream big. A famous singer who performed here once said that it was far better to try to hit the big, high, scary note and fail than to opt for the safe one. By playing it safe, there's no chance of ever doing anything memorable. At the Disney ABC television group, we talk a lot about the value of failure. If we fail honestly in the process of trying something audacious, something memorable, we get to learn from that failure, and it's a benefit to everyone in the company. So please don't be afraid to fail, and whatever the next chapter in your life is, write it large, write it noisy, and write clearly your failures along with your successes. What inevitably happens from trying big things, from exploring boldly without fear, is that we learn that we're often capable of more than we realize. My mother was my earliest mentor, and still is my greatest mentor. And she taught me this. When I was in high school, my parents forced me to take Latin. None of my friends were taking Latin. But Latin had come back into the curriculum, and my parents were so excited. And I remember studying and studying hard, and I was having a terrible time with it. And one day I said to my mother, "You think I'm smarter than I am?" She looked me in the eye and said, "You don't know how smart you are." And I've carried that phrase with me for years. And let me say it again to all of you here today. You don't know how smart you are. You're all capable of greater things than you realize. So don't limit your dreams. Instead, explore them boldly without fear. I have tremendous gratitude, as President Huntington mentioned earlier, to Dr. Carson, Bernard McMahon, and Sister Dorothea and Kelly, and this great school for daring me to dream big, bold dreams. The great explorer, Sir Francis Drake, captured all of this beautifully in a poem that he wrote that I carry with me every day, and I'd like to end with it. Disturb us, Lord, when we are too pleased with ourselves, when our dreams have come true because we have dreamed too little, when we arrived safely because we sailed too close to the shore. Disturb us, Lord, to dare more boldly, to venture on wider seas where storms will show your mastery, where losing sight of land, we shall find the stars. Class of 2013, now you go out and live your own life's poetry. Dare boldly, find your star, change the world. Good luck, God bless, and Godspeed.